Welcome back to Cloud on Air. My name is Jay Jenkins. I'm a customer engineer based here in Singapore. Already today, we've run through a number of sessions. And in fact, I just finished the session on an overview of Google Cloud Platform. In this session, Dambo Ren's actually going to drill down on Compute Engine. So again, how you do things on Google Cloud. And also talk about how you might migrate existing applications to Google Cloud as well. After Dambo, we have 3 more sessions. One around the Ammo is doing around data processing. Another from Yoshi, who will talk about how you integrate G Suite with Google Cloud Platform. And one from Mark Fong as well, who will talk about connecting things in Google Cloud. So how you can use networking for your applications and use the scale of Google Cloud in order to get a more performant application. Dambo has 17 years of experience in IT industry, and he's going to bring that experience to you today to talk about virtual machines and how you can migrate your virtual machines or on-premise machines into Google Cloud Platform. Remember that at any time you can ask a question below, and we have experts standing by ready to help. So now I'll turn it over to Dambo to talk about Compute Engine.
Hey, hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Dambo Ren. I'm the customer engineer of Google Cloud. So today, it's my pleasure to present to you how you can get started with Google Compute Engine. And let's take a look at the agenda today. So there are a couple of topics I'm going to cover today. So first, I want to start from an introduction about Google Compute Engine, what the key component capability you can get with Google Compute Engine. And I also cover some of the advantage from technical and also commercial-wise. And the second thing I want to share with you an end-to-end process, how we can provision a VM Compute Engine on the Google Cloud Platform. Then you deploy some application on it and make it work. And third one, I want to share with you some of the workload use case you can think about migrate to Google Cloud Platform. And I would like to share with you 2 case studies, and I hope inspire you to start think about how you can start the journey with Google Cloud Platform. And in the case you feel interested about migrate your workload, your application to GCP, then we will share with you some of the basic practice and reference architect how you can migrate your workload to GCP. And lastly, we will do a quick summary. Then I invite Jay come back with me so we answer the questions from the front room. So let's take a look at our content. So first, what is Google Compute Engine? Compute Engine in a nutshell is infrastructure as a service. So it's meaning you run your VM on the same structure Google run our core service like YouTube, search engine, and Gmail. So in other words, it's meaning your application will got same performance capability as Google's core services provided. And when the time you create your VM on the Google Cloud Platform, there are a couple of the parameter and property you have to be specified. Something like the number of the virtual CPU, and the certain amount of the memories. And exactly same when you think about sizing your hardware servers in your environment. And also you have defined the storage option, whether it is persistent disk or it's local SSD. Then you also have to think about how you can segment your subnet, your network on the Google Cloud. And lastly, you have to decide which operating system image you want to use. And you have the option. Either you can choose from Google Cloud public available images, or you can bring your own images. So before we dive into the detail of Compute Engine, let's take a look at the GCP, all the options in terms of compute and processing capabilities. So beside compute engine and infrastructure as service, we also have container engine, we also have app engine, and cloud function. So container engine is based on the Docker technology, package your application and independent of operating system. And then you can use Kubernetes to orchestrate different workload, different process. And it's provide you the microservice architecture, and then you can mix your hybrid architecture with your on-prem and public cloud and even private cloud. App Engine provides a platform as a service, so totally managed service, which allows developer to focus on the coding, programming, turn your idea into the application without worry about infrastructure, operation, maintenance. App Engine automatically can scale up depending on the traffic to the instance. So again, make you more focused on your application. And Google Cloud Platform provides two flavors of App Engine. So standard environment and flexible environment. So as the name suggested, standard environment only provide predefined runtime environment, and you cannot deploy third-party custom library, and you cannot access local disk. On the other side, the flexible environment give you more control, give you more flexibility. And it's using Docker under the cover. So we support more runtime environment, even like .NET. And with custom runtime environment, literally you can run any programming language runtime environment on the App Engine flexible environment. And the last one is the cloud function. It's a functional as a service. It's a serverless workload. So basically, it's lightweight, event-based workload. So typical use case will be the cloud function can monitor some endpoint, RESTful endpoint, or monitoring the Google Cloud Storage. So you can trigger some action and run it instantly. And you don't need to worry about the server operating part. You just run your workload on the cloud function. And with that, I hope can give you a big picture about what kind of computing capability we have and what use case you can apply your application with Google Compute Engine. And here we give you a single view about the capability of GCE we bring for you. So from the fundamental one like compute, disk, network, the three fundamental capability. And we also cover two advanced features like instance group, availability policy, and lastly, we also cover part of the commercial pricing wise. We share with you how innovative we are in the pricing part and how we provide more friendly and more simple pricing model for you. Okay, so let's kick it off, started one by one. So first, compute option. Compute is all about the collection of virtual hardware resources when the time you provision your VM on GCP. And we have two types of the machine type, so predefined and customized one. So predefined one like shared core, standard, high CPU, high memorized, it focuses on different workload. For example, shared core is focused on the small workload, not resources intensive, but cost effective. And standard one keep good ratio between CPU and memories. And then high CPU, high memories, as the name suggested, it's more focused on the CPU or memory intensive workload. However, we didn't force you to choose our predefined machine type. We give you the capability to customize your machine type. So you can design the machine type just right for your workload, and you can enjoy the cost saving. Another two fact probably you want to keep in mind when the time you do the sizing in GCP. So one virtual CPU equal to one hyper-thread core, and two virtual CPU equal to one physical core. So when the time you're mapping your sizing compile your on-prem environment to the Google Cloud Platform. So it's better keep in mind for this information. And disk option. So every virtual machine have a boot disk to contain operating system information, whether it's Windows or Linux system. And you have the option to choose different type of disk option in Google Cloud Platform. So you have the option like persistent disk. You can choose from standard disk, SSD, or the local SSD. So what's different about them? So if you choose the persistent disk, it's high availability, redundancy design, and durability design. A local SSD is ephemeral storage, is plugged to the VM directly. So it's meaning you get the best IOPS performance and low latency. However, you don't have the redundancy design and durability design. So you have to understand the pros and the cons of each of the storage options. And the last one I'll share with you, one of the capability GCP can give it to you, we call dynamically resize your disk. So at the time you grow your application, you need more space, and you don't need to worry about downtime. We can dynamically resize your disk without making your application down. So you still can continue to service your customer, make a service available where you changing your size of your disk. Networking is all about connecting your VM each other and also connected to internet. And we have the firewall to restrict the access from internet, and we also have static router to allow you to access specific endpoint only. So keep secure of your environment for networking part. And Google have one of the world's biggest software-defined network other than telecom carrier company. And our virtual private network allow you to build up your network on the cloud. So you can build out different segmentation, your network for different branch, different business union, and different entities. And also you can scale your application by leveraging our global load balance and without worry about pre-warming. And we can scale up your application from 0 instance to million instance within few seconds. That's the power Google Compute capability can bring for you. And in the case, if you came from highly regulated industry like financial service, and you want to keep some of your data, like PII data, PCI data, in your environment, and at the same time, you want to leverage the power of public cloud computing. In this case, we can build up the hybrid cloud model for you. So it's meaning you can save your data in your environment and leveraging the computing capability in public cloud service provider. And here the advanced feature I want to share with you called instance group. Instance group allow you to manage a collection of instances together, and you don't need to worry about manage each individual instance. The advantage of instance group will be, for example, like manage instance group. It's allow you to automatically scale up, provision new instance in the case you have more traffic come into your server. And how we can do that? We use instant template at the baseline, automatically spring up a new instance to serve the workload from internet. And typically it's working together with the global load balance. So you can have different instance group, cater the requests from different region, different zone. And the global load balance will be automatically divert your request to the nearest instance group to service your customers. And also we have the capability like HASI check. So when the time failure happen, we automatically can healing your instance and start up a new instance. So that kind of a capability managed instance group can provide for you. On the other hand, we also have unmanaged instance group. So as the name suggested, it's all about a group of dissimilar instances together, and you can manually add in and remove from instance group. However, unmanaged instance group don't have a capability of scaling and auto-healing. So we will recommend you to use managed instance group as possible as you can. Availability policy. That's one of the innovation came from Google, how we manage our infrastructure. So we can automatically restart your instance when issue happen on your instance, whether it is hardware failure or software failure. And in the maintenance window, you probably heard about notification from other service provider tell you, say, hey, we want to be updated, we want to patching our services, sorry, you had down your service for a while. Believe me, you've never heard about this kind of notification from Google, because we have technology called live migrate when maintenance window happen. So when we do the patching, updating, or maintenance window coming, we live migrate your instance to another zone or another area, and without your application downtime. So it's meaning we continue service your customer while maintenance window happen. And then we were talking about the pricing, commercial-wise. So Google provides simple and friendly pricing model. So first, I want to share with you about we call per minute billing. So it's meaning we charging you per minute after 10 minutes later. So imagine a use case. If you use your VM 61 minutes, and Google charging you exactly 61 minutes, while other cloud service provider, they are the per hour charging. They will charge you 2 hours. So there are 91% difference. And the second thing I want to share with you is called sustained use discount. It's meaning the more you use your VM, the more discount we can offer. And the discount we offer to you automatically apply to your billing account. And third thing I want to share with you is called preemptible VM, which give you the discount up to 80%. Preemptible VM is suitable for the high tolerance and batch job processing. So every 24 hours we'll refresh the instance. And the fourth one I would like to share with you is called custom machine type. I covered this one in the compute option a little bit. So it's meaning you can cater, you can customize the machine type just right for your instance, so you can get the cost saving. And the last one, we call recommendation engine for your sizing. So we apply machine learning, AI technology to the Google Compute Engine. So we monitor usage of your compute engine, and we give you recommendation. So later, when the time I do the demo, I can give you a much better idea about this one, how we can recommend it right sizing for your instance. And here is graphic view to show you our innovative pricing leader, how we can help you to gain cost advantage, savings. So from list price, from the pricing model about per minute billing, custom machine type, system use discount, and then to the right sizing recommendation. So overall, we can achieve up to 60% of cost saving for our customers. So with that, I hope can give you an idea about Google Compute Engine, our advantage from technical and commercial-wise. Then now I will be spent 5 to 10 minutes to give you a quick demo. And before we do the demo, let me give you some context. And this is what we call VM lifecycle on GCP. So it's meaning it's a couple of stages when the time you provision your VM on the GCP, and this is procedure have to follow. So first one is all about reserve the resources for provisioning your instance. And the second part will be query the resources and like IP address, like operating system, then apply to the instance. And third one will be try to start up operating system and load the startup script to do the initialization. Then admin can remove access instance. And rest others like stopped and terminated. So when you stop your VM, will automatically trigger shutdown script. So you can do the housekeeping, backup logging, do the house cleaning jobs. And there are a couple of ways you can create VM on Google Cloud Platform. So first one is declarative approach. So you can do it from Google Cloud Console. Just point and click, you can create a VM. And second approach is with Google Cloud SDK or Cloud Shell. You can use the command line to create a VM. The advantage of this approach is you can automate the script. Imagine you create 100,000 VM, and then you can think about leverage the command line. And third one, we allow third-party system to using RESTful API to create a VM, to manage all the VM instance. And second thing I want to share with you is VM access. So depending on the operating system you choose from, so you can use SSH to remote login to the Linux system. We provide the browser utility for you, and also you can use third party. For Windows system, probably you have to use RDP to remote access your Windows instance. And here is some of the command we're going to use to validate all the resources allocated to the VM instance. So like CPU, memory, the disk. With that, let me switch to the demo environment to show you how we can start with Google Compute Engine. So Jay talked about a little bit, you can have a trial account with us, and you automatically got $300 credit, and it's valid for 12 months. So after you open an account, you log in, you will be, the first homepage will be the dashboard. And this is a single place for you to manage all the resources on the GCP. Look at your resources about your project, your compute, your resources, and also you can monitoring your service running. You can tracing, you can debugging, you can do error reporting. So anyway, it's a single place for administrator to manage all your resources on the GCP. Then let's see how we can create VM. So we go to Compute option, click Compute Engine. I have one instance created yesterday already. So as you can see, there is a recommendation for right sizing. So because for the instance I created previously, it looks like underutilized. So the system automatically suggests me, say, probably I can try the smaller machine type to get some cost saving. Okay, with that, let's create a new instance. So let's give it a name. The first thing you have to select it is the zone, where your instance will be hosting, on which zone. In Asia, we have the zone in Tokyo, in Taiwan, Singapore, and also Sydney. For the Mumbai one, it's on the roadmap. As you select different of the zones on the right, we automatically give you the estimation about your cost, the VM on each of the zone. For example, if I choose the Singapore data center, we'll show you the price. Remember, I once mentioned about sustained use discount. We automatically apply discount for your instance. And the second thing you have to choose from is machine type. So you can choose the predefined machine type, high CPU, high memory, standard one. And also, you have the option to select the customized one. So you have the option designed just right for your workload. For example, I can adjust to, let's say, 4 virtual CPU. I want to adjust to, let's say, 15 gigabytes. Yeah. Then make it right. Then the third thing I have to select is called boot disk, or the operating system type. And we have different flavor of Linux system, and we have different version of the Windows system. So in this case, let's choose Linux version. And also you can choose from different application image, for example, like SQL Server. And also you can choose a custom image. If you have a custom workload, you can bring your image to Google Cloud Platform. Another option, you can choose different persistent disk. Is a standard one or SSD for better performance. So let's choose SSD. Then firewall, as I mentioned earlier, firewall will protect you from the internet traffic. And by default, will block all the traffic from internet, and you can allow HTTP traffic into your instance by check this option. And with that, we will create this instance. So remember, we talked about the life cycle of VM. So now, basically, the process will be try to reserve the resource, try provision the resource, then try to loading the operating system images and start up the system. Then it will be ready for the administration to remove access the system. So as you can see, now it's ready to use. And automatically will be assigned an internal IP and also an external IP for internet access. However, because it's an empty system, if you access this IP address, will be nothing there so far. No worry, later we will try to deploy an Apache server to show you how the web server start work. So we will use SSH to remote login to the system and to check all the configurations we allocated. Then we try to deploy Apache application into our VM and make it start working. So first, let's check about the operating system. So it's exactly the version we choose from. Then we have look at our how many CPU resources we have. If you still remember, we select there are 4 cores of CPU. Then we also, let's take a look at memory-wise. So we selected 15 gigabytes memory. And for the disk-wise, so we allocate 10 gigabytes SSD. So exactly match what we designed. So next time we make it more interesting, we try to deploy Apache application to the VM. So before we do that, we have to patch the system to make sure its latest patch was installed. And we'll quickly to check internet to download all the resources to patch the system. Then let's try to install the Apache services. By default, the Apache package will be download, then deploy, then start up the service automatically. Then we can switch back to our public IP. As you can see, automatically loaded. So boom, Apache server is running. Although the process is very simple, but I hope can give you an idea how you can quickly provision the VM, how you can check valid resources, then deploy your application. And I hope you enjoy the process. So let's come back, continue on our slide. So now you got the basic understanding about GCE, you saw the demo. Now probably a good time to think about what kind of workload application you can hosting on GCP. So basically, compute engine is slightly different from managed environment like App Engine. It gives you more control. So typically, it's for the general workload. If you need a lot of resources, computing powers. So typical use case like app server hosting, app application hosting, app backend hosting, and big data processing. For some of the industry like media, a lot of rendering, a lot of media transcoding, and also for financial service. If you have a lot of data, you do simulating. Yes, Google Compute Engine is the right answer for you. And also for genomics, we have a dynamic use case for genomics. For the DNA sequencing, need a lot of storage, computing capability. Yes, Google Compute Engine is the right answer for you. However, some of the customers may say, hey, I'm not comfortable, convert everything over the night. No worry. probably you can think about start from disaster recovery, start from backup environment, or you can think about start from your testing, developing environment. So it's more time you stay with Google Cloud Platform, you feel more comfortable, then you can move more workload, more application with GCP. Then here I show you two of a customer story. So how they can start the journey with Google Cloud Platform. So first one is called Lush. They are the global cosmetic retailer. They have the global e-commerce portal to service the customer worldwide. And they are not happy with the previous cloud service provider due to they are not so transparent on the operating part, and they are all the proprietary technology, and they want to be leverage open source technology. That's the reason they choose Google Cloud Platform. And within the 22 days, they moved the e-commerce platform from front end, back end, database, and storage completely to Google Platform. And now they focus on the future things to think about leverage our Docker container technology and Kubernetes to move to open source, container engine to service their customers. Another one came from Gartner. It's all about life migration. So Gartner want to leverage, the open source technology or modern technology from Google Cloud Platform. However, the workload they choose from cannot suffer downtime. So that's the reason Google Cloud Platform, we're working together with our partner, in this case called Cloud Endu. We provide life migrate service for our customer. So it's meaning when the time we migrate your services, you achieve almost zero downtime for your applications. And I hope the two use case inspiring you more idea and start think about how you start migrate your workload, your application to GCP. Then probably you think about, hey, how I can start? What kind of approach or migration strategy I should take from? Probably we can give you some idea. So there are typically 4 approaches you can think about migrate your workload, your application to GCP or Compute Engine. The first one we call redesign, re-engineering. It's all about you probably take advantage, want to modernize your design, optimize your system, or you want to achieve some of the business values. So probably redesign, re-engineering is an option for you. A second approach we call one-on-one mapping, or it's called lift and shift. It's meaning you are happy with your current solution design. You just want to be re-host on Google Compute Engine. So in this case, it's fewest changes and less risk, so you can achieve quick migration process. And third use case, in the case you came from highly regulated industry like financial service, healthcare, or you have some legacy system, or you have some sensitive data cannot move to public cloud. So in this case, probably it's a hybrid mode is suitable for you. So you can leverage the power of public cloud without harmful about your security compliance concerns. And the last one is all about life migrate. So in the case you want to achieve zero downtime or near zero downtime, or in the disaster recovery part, you want to be achieve very low or near zero RPO, RTO, probably life migrate is answer for you. And I hope this chart give you the idea about how you can start think about migration approach, move your workload to GCP, and then you can start think about it. Then this is offer from Google Cloud. So we provide free VM migration for you. So together with our partner, and we provide some utilities to help you to migrate your workload, your application, whether it's on-prem, whether it's private cloud hosting, or other public cloud hosting. You can think about migrate to GCP by leveraging our free VM migration service. With that, I hope you enjoyed the session. I will do a quick summary, then we will invite Jane come back with me to answer the questions for you. So today we covered, the introduction about GCE, the advantage of the GCE from technical, from commercial-wise, and also we share with you some of the use case, how we can start with GCE. Then most important thing, we give you some idea how the migration approach, how we can get started. So with that, I will invite Jane come back to join me. So we will try to answer all the questions. So stay tuned with us. We'll talk to you later.
Great, thank you so much, Dambo. It was great that I feel like you even went more in depth this session than you did in this morning session.
Yeah,
so if you stuck around and watched both sessions, I think you would have picked up more things. Now, there's a feedback panel on this side of the screen. So if you haven't given feedback, please do. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how we can help you. So there were actually a lot of questions coming through, some of them deeply technical. So I think with those particular questions, we've given some pointers for things we can't address here.
Yeah.
And I'll try to sort of, we've got sort of some high-level questions here that we can address, and then I might address some of the questions that I've been seeing in the comments as well.
Yep.
Great. So first of all, I guess, let's talk a little bit about how Google Compute Engine actually fits in the overall scheme of what we have available on Compute.
Yep.
For instance, some people were asking for advice on how they might construct their applications, but again, I think if people just look at Compute, they're only getting part of the story.
Yep.
So how does something like Google Compute Engine fit with something like Google App Engine, as an example?
Yep. Thanks for the question, I think. So basically, my suggestion would be you look at your organization, the capability you're comfortable with. And also Compute Engine and App Engine is two parts of the hosting service. So Compute Engine gives you more control about your compute option, like OS level of the configuration. And while App Engine will be more managed service. And you delegate the services operating part to Google. And so like scale up, maintenance, and update, we manage for you. So basically, this is technical capability. But what my recommendation for you would like, you look at your organization application type and look at your capability of the IT levels. So you choose between something like you enjoy more control or you enjoy more managed service. So there's no simple answer for you, but that's a guideline for you. You can think about how you can choose between Compute Engine and also App Engine.
Great. So actually, one of the questions specifically talked about, so they actually had a Node.js application with MongoDB on the back end. I think that's a good opportunity to actually take a look at how you're doing operations today. So, without knowing your application in depth, it's sort of hard to make a recommendation. But for instance, Node.js, that's something you could use. If you could containerize that, you could use something like App Engine Flex,
yep,
right, to actually help scale that. And for MongoDB, again, if you take a look at something like Cloud Launcher, which has a lot of pre-configured machines for your applications, we have some click-to-deploy implementations of MongoDB, which are containerized or which have clustering already set up for you for MongoDB.
Yeah, a couple of options over there.
Exactly. Great, thank you.
Yep.
So what if so again, obviously a lot of questions around specific applications this time in the comments below. So what if I need more resources? Where can I actually learn more about hands-on with Google Compute Engine or Google Cloud Platform?
Yep, that's a good question. Because today I think we cover majority would be, about how the Google Compute Engine, how it works. Although we show you the simple demo, however, I encourage you to take more hand-on sessions with us. Right, so it's a couple of the resources you can take, like our quick lab. So a lot of the, the hand-on sessions you can take advantage. We also have another one called CoLab, right? So colab.google.com. So also you can try to leverage all the exercises, hand-on sessions. So you can choose different topic and to start from. Most important thing during the journey, you'll not only gain the knowledge about GCP, but also start to think about, hey, how you can apply the technology, the power of technology to your organization, right? Create some impact for your organization. So I really encourage you to check out our Quick Lab, our Code Lab on our Google Cloud platform.
Great. And if you go to codelabs.google.com, there's actually a filter in the top right because there's a lot of different types of technology that Google has, including a lot of stuff around our ads and marketing, which is also of great value. But if you want to look at specifically what we have available on Google Cloud Platform, there's a filter in the top right, so you can narrow the focus down to specifically Google Cloud. I think it's also important to know, so again, there were a lot of questions around this as well, is that if you go to cloud.google.com/free, it'll give you instructions on how to get $300 worth of free credit, which is good for 12 months. But we also have an always free tier as well. So lots of opportunity to sort of play with Google Cloud Platform without being charged anything. And really that's the best way to learn, is doing these labs, logging into the platform and figuring out how it all works together.
Yeah, it's super. For the developer, you can start from, we have free credit, we have free tier. So for example, app application, within the free tier, in the workload below certain threshold is free, right? So try to leverage, the capability, the service we provided. Think about your organization, make some impact.
Great. So another one was around logging, monitoring, and auditing of Compute Engine. Someone was asking, if my Compute Engine instance crashes, how do I actually find out what happened? Where do I go for logging and auditing?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I also came from the programmer background. So when the time you try to start with your service, you deploy application, you're debugging your system. However, sometimes you met some problem. You have to debugging and troubleshoot, all this kind of thing. However, Google Cloud Platform provide lots of this kind of facility for you to easy to identify the problem, to help you do the troubleshooting. And one of the tools we call Stackdriver is a great technology. So basically, it's an agent running on each of the compute engine. So we're monitoring your behavior. We capture all the logs. We're monitoring all the behaviors. So when the time error happen, so we keep all the logs so you can easily to do the troubleshooting. And another beauty of the Stackdriver is a cross different cloud platform. So not only can monitoring the services on the Google Cloud Platform, and also cover other cloud platforms like AWS. So it's meaning in the single place we can manage multiple cloud information and to do the single place control, and also you can do some alert management. Yeah. So it sounds great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thinking back to sort of, I guess, the broad number of resources that we have available on Google Cloud Platform, Compute Engine just one of those. How do I make sure that my Compute Engine instance actually has access to those other Google Cloud Platform services, like databases, storage, and to the APIs?
Yeah, it's a good question, because probably you can get idea from the first session from you, right? It's an overview about Google Cloud Platform. So it's a big ecosystem. Compute Engine is just one portion. We also have database, we have big data, we have machine learning. Oh my God, it's a big ecosystem. So it's a very natural question will be, for the application running on the Compute Engine, how we can leverage other services, other components, right? So there are a couple of ways you can do that. So first way is we call service account. So basically, when the time you create Compute Engine, we automatically create a service account for you. And this service account will be communicate to other services like database, storage on behalf of this virtual machine. And also beside the service account, we also have OAuth. So you can use OAuth to authenticate the user, access the data of user data. So this kind of couple way, you can leverage, the application hosting on the Compute Engine. You also can access other services component on the Google Cloud Platform.
Okay, great. So a lot of people were asking specifically about things like Windows and licensing management. So I guess let's talk about this in a couple different ways. Number one is, can I run .NET applications on Compute Engine, and how does that work from a licensing perspective if I'm using Windows as my operating system, for example?
Yeah, we treat equally, for all the technologies. And the answer is yes, and also we have different approach to achieve it. So for .NET or Windows application, so first way you can try the Compute Engine. So again, Compute Engine is give you fully control, right? You can deploy the .NET runtime environment and everything, right? You can run all the Windows workload applications. So that's one way, right? Another way, if you enjoy more managed service, remember we talked about App Engine flexible environment, so give you the capability to run almost all kind of runtime environment. So in this case, we can hosting .NET Core, which is open source of .NET technology. So then you can hosting a .NET Core application on the App Engine flexible environment. So then you can enjoy the managed service like scalability, reliability, clustering capabilities, right? So two different approach, but we can hosting .NET and Microsoft technology on the GCP.
Great. I guess specifically around things like Windows Server, if you choose Windows Server as your operating system whenever you're setting up your Compute Engine instance, we will actually manage that licensing for you. So the licensing is actually baked into that instance. So again, if you use that Windows Server instance for 61 minutes, you'll pay for 61 minutes of licensing on that Windows Server.
Beautiful, right?
Absolutely. So I guess to expand, though, on that question a little bit, because we didn't get that question now, but there were some questions broadly around third parties.
Yeah.
So I'll actually bring this question back. So for instance, if your customers or you are using something like SAP, we actually have a very strong partnership with SAP, and we're certified to run SAP on Google Cloud Platform. So again, if you're looking at third-party software, don't sort of, I guess, just discount that and say, oh, I can't run that in the cloud. Take a look at our site, search on Google Cloud Platform plus your application's name, and chances are we've already got a partnership there available for you. Another thing to do is take a look at Google Cloud Launcher, which is, again, this marketplace where you can take a look at the applications that are available. A lot of those are open source, but a lot of those have been put together by these partners to provide a standardized way to deploy those solutions.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, personally, I love the Launchpad very much because that gives you the capability to extend Google Cloud Platform capability to leverage our partner ecosystem. So I hope you also can, check it out and leverage the capability of from Google Cloud Platform partner ecosystem.
Yeah, I remember when I was an engineer and I would have to set up a LAMP stack, right? You install Linux, install Apache,
well, that's
install
lots of work.
MySQL, install your PHP or Python, and it was a lot of work. And to be able to go into Cloud Launcher and sort of say
one click,
and it will essentially set that up, as well as set up the networking to make that LAMP stack externally accessible. It does it all for you, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's the power of the cloud service. Make you more focused on your idea into application, rather than manage all the infrastructure operating part, right? That's exactly the cloud service provider can do for you.
Yeah, and I think earlier when you're talking about sort of migrating these applications onto Google Cloud Platform, that sort of flexibility and capability really makes you think about not just moving, but how do I improve that application? How do I actually take advantage of Google Cloud Platform and the capabilities that it has to take advantage of those cost efficiencies or those operational efficiencies?
Yep, quite right. I agree with you. It's all about leverage the technology to modernize your existing architect and leverage the power, like AI, big data, and think about make impact for your business and how you can leverage the power of technology, to achieve your business goal. I think that's the power of the GCP. And not only a technical component, but it's more like a Lego block, right? We have different components. However, if you need Millennium Falcon, yes, you can assemble them, right? Make a technology component works and achieve your business goal, right? So that's the beauty of GCP, I think. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Dambo.
Thank you for coming.
And thank you for again taking it to the next level and adding an extra layer of depth around Compute Engine. So coming up, we also have Amo talking about data processing on Google Cloud Platform. We have Yoshi again talking about Google Cloud Platform and integration with G Suite. Also, I noticed there was a question around networking. I know Mark Fong has been answering questions down below furiously as they've all come pouring in. But Mark will talk about networking specifically. So definitely, especially to the person that asked that question below, stick around for that. Again, I In terms of additional resources, so we talked about some of the resources available to you in order to get you started. The links are on your screen. So there's ways to get training and ways to get certified. But again, the best way to really learn this platform is just to get your hands on it. You can do that for free. So just go and sign up, spin up a virtual machine, and see what you can do with it. Great. So I'll see you in a few minutes while Ammo is getting set up to talk about data processing on Google Cloud Platform.
See you.
Thank you.